Wow, welcome everybody. Good morning. Happy Saturday morning. Wow, we have a lot of people joining us already. I appreciate you joining us. Just give me a thumbs up or let me know that you can hear the audio okay. That'd be really cool. And I'm just going to actually slide this a little bit over. Hey, Sabi Cat, welcome. Malavika, welcome. Pamela. Oh, let me lower that volume over there. That's not going to work. And Shelby, welcome. Andre, Peggy, Kat, all kinds of Melvin, Zoran. Wow, 2 times in 1 week. Thank you so much for joining. Helen, thank you for visiting with us today. Ileana, Aura, 2 times in 1 week, Aura. Very cool. Okay, great. Greg, Martina. Wow. Okay. So let's get started. I really do appreciate Dennis. Welcome. I really do appreciate y'all joining me here today. So today's class is going to be about perspective. And what you see on the screen is this cool little building. Now, I found this photo online and I brought it into Photoshop. I cropped it. I manipulated it. Hey, Ace, Sankara. David, welcome. I manipulated it. I painted on top of it. I changed some things up a little bit. I think it's always important if you're going to find a random photo on the internet that you need to kind of make it your own, change it, crop it, change the coloring. I normally never ever draw anybody else's photo of a figure. I always like to take my own pictures of figures in the classroom after school. But an inanimate object like this, a building, I'm okay with it. Now, the point of today's class is 3-point perspective, okay? How do you draw this building in 3-point perspective, and why would you even bother to draw this building in 3-point perspective? Why not 2-point perspective? So I have this page here, and then underneath I'll do the drawing. Let me just grab another little piece of tape here. As I'm Chuck, welcome to the live stream today on Saturday. Good to have you here. I was out last night for a friend's 50th birthday party. Marie, welcome. And we ate way too much food. Way too much food. Hey, Jeff, welcome. Okay, awesome, man. Awesome. Aurora, welcome. Now, let's get started here. So you see up top over here, this is, let me slide that photo over a touch. Okay. Yeah, you can see that point there, hopefully. Yes. So this is the fundamentals of 3-point perspective. Alice, welcome. Megana. So we have a little box here, and traditionally with 2-point perspective, because that's what this is. This goes back to that vanishing point on the horizon line. This edge goes back to that vanishing point on the horizon line. We rhythm back. And it's pretty simple. So in a 2-point perspective situation, boy, this paper is buckling on me. That's strange. In a 2-point perspective situation, what happens is all of the lines, this line, and this line are going perfectly straight up and down. But in 3-point, it's going to the 3rd point. So we're kind of cruising on down all the way to the center of the earth. There's also 3-point perspective going up to the sky. Now, why would you even use 3-point perspective? Well, the simple concept to think about, welcome Sandy and Danny, is that when you're drawing 1-point perspective, you're looking straight at the object. When you're drawing 2-point perspective, you're looking straight at the object. 3-point perspective, you're looking down. And so you feel your neck looking down, or you're looking up and you feel your neck muscles looking up. So that's when you want to start to use 3-point perspective to get a different vantage point. So if I'm taking a photo of you right now, and I'm going to hold the camera, I'm holding it level. As soon as the camera tilts up or tilts down, then we're at a 3-point perspective situation. So when we look at this building here, welcome, Dawn. Ali, welcome. Mangesh, hello. What we see here is we start this with a box. So I right over here, we have our box. I didn't tilt it up as much as I could. And now, what inspired me to do this class today? Well, for the last 2 days in a row, I would say many hours, well over 10 hours, definitely maybe even closer to 15 hours. I've been writing a full 15-week course. So teaching at the School of Visual Arts online, you have to write out your full course on their Canvas website. And it's no joke, and you have to spend a lot of time thinking and researching. And how am I going to teach this 15-week perspective course, 2-hour classes? And so perspective has been on my mind. And I'm like, you know what? I need to do this here today. So what we do when we look at this very beautiful old building is we just think of what it's sitting on. And what it's sitting on is this box, okay? So this was the first box that I drew right over here. Yep. And you can see that pretty good. Good. So could I have done it in 2-point perspective? Would my life have been a little bit more easy doing it in 2-point? Yeah, yes or no. It depends. So what you need to do is you need to figure out where is the perfectly vertical straight line. And on this photo of this old building, it's actually quite difficult to figure that out where that is. And yeah, it looks like an old fairy's house, doesn't it? So I'm going to say that maybe on this little sketch that I've done here, perhaps this is going to be my line that's going straight up and down like what we see over here. Okay, and now that has to tilt down to the center of the earth, tilt down to the center of the earth where that point is. Now, here's the thing with perspective. When the points are really close together, your scene is going to look a little fake and contrived. When the points are very, very far away, it looks much, much more natural. So that's why what I have here on the monitor is there's no points on this piece of paper, because if I put points here, it's going to look really strange. The points are well off the paper. And what you need to do is just get into the habit of rhythm in, out, rhythm with this line, rhythm. Oh, and here's my horizon line. So the horizon line actually is really difficult to figure out on this photo, and you have to look at the roof line. But the roof line is all crooked, right? It's an old house. We were in an old restaurant last night in Stony Brook town, right in the heart of town. And I haven't really been to Stony Brook too much. I just know Stony Brook Hospital, which is an awful place. I was there with family, and so I have bad memories of Stony Brook Hospital many, many, many years ago. But Stony Brook town, my God, is beautiful. Not to say anything bad about Stony Brook Hospital. There's a lot of good people there trying to help everybody. But the roof in the restaurant was really kind of weird. The beams were all sagging. So when you look at this building, it's kind of difficult to determine, okay, are the beams sagging? Is the roof curvy, or is it tilted in perspective? And so I looked at the top peak over here, and I made the decision that it's going to tilt down like that. So I'm just kind of tilting. I have to be conscious of how much my hand is off of the page here. Okay, tilting up, tilting down. So now I know my horizon line is going to be somewhere in the middle. All right, so I don't want to spend too much time here with this little sketch. I want to get into the actual drawing of it. But this is basically perspective of this building, and it starts from this basic box. Now, anything, the simple terms with perspective are horizon line, vanishing points, all right? And your horizon line or your eye level line is basically where your eyes are. Really, really simple stuff. Don't make it any more complicated. Where your eyes are looking at this, or where the camera lens is taking a photo of this, is where the horizon line is. And if this part of the building is below the horizon line, it needs to tilt up. If this part of the roof is above the horizon line, it needs to tilt down towards the horizon line. Okay, so now let's take this sheet of paper off of the screen. I have I have dust in my eye. It's driving me crazy. All right, we'll put that aside for now. Okay, Sorobai, welcome. I appreciate that. Yeah, I got the beard. I took my beard off and my hair. Now I have nothing, so it's freezing out. Andre, welcome. And Tanya, I hope Bailey from Australia. Wow. Welcome, friend, and awesome. All right, I'm going to take a little swig of coffee here, and the cup says the dog likes me best, and Truffles is over there sleeping. So give me a second here to take a quick swig of coffee. I'm trying not to spill coffee on myself. So what do we have here now? So we have, I I started this just so the camera had something to kind of focus on, okay? And so when I look at this house, I started with this box, and I'm going to just randomly come on down. And now this is tilted ever so slightly. Now what you see, I have no points on the paper, right? I'm just kind of going to go with the rhythm. So the rhythm of the perspective, it's like that dance from the song from the 80s. It's the rhythm of the night. Okay, so it's the rhythm of your hand going back. Find your level line, find your level line. And I don't have a point on the paper, as you can see. So when there's no point, things are going to be a little bit looser. And I had to make an intro video for the perspective class on the website. And thank you, Yahusha, that's a cool name. I had to make a intro video for the class, and what I said was I don't really like to teach perspective where everything just laser beams in on one point, because when you do that, things tend to look a little bit fake. Hey, Nancy. Okay, cool. Yeah, the rhythm of the night. I don't even know who sung that, but that's sticking in my mind. All right, so now here's our box, and that's how we're going to start. Now, when I look at that photo, excuse me for clearing my throat here. It was a long night, a lot of talking, a lot of laughing. This should be tilted more, but you want to know something? I really don't care. I'm not concerned about doing an exact likeness of this building. I just want to do a fairly pretty drawing here for you. So now I get that in, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to freehand it, and I'm going to say, oh, okay, that's tilted. That needs to tilt down to my vanishing point. This is tilting the other way ever so slightly. That needs to come down. So I have these points converging like the letter V down off the paper. A lot of times my hand's off the paper, and I got to really be conscious of that. Now, you just have to kind of take a little bit of a leap of faith here and go up. And again, I could go a little bit higher with the roof line. I can put it here. So we just say, oh, okay, cool. That's tilted down ever so slightly. I tilted it a lot. And let's go like that. Now let's come over here. And this is a little bit of a really cool overhang, this old building. And now where they have the stones together, that line is tilted up. So I'm thinking about perspective, but I'm not going to a point. Now that's really short, but to the peak of this roof. So we have this. Let's just kind of take another quick leap and say, oh, okay, maybe this is going to be my level line. Let's see how that works. And it's level, and then I'm going to skip that little chimney and find the other roof line right over here. That I'm going to tilt down, okay? And then I'm going to get this. So I'm looking at distances from the peak to here, and I'm going to make this a little bit skinnier. So this is a really funky sort of roof. And, oh, I'm seeing now that that could be much, much taller. Okay, so let's get in this roof line. So this is just like doing figure drawing. So what we're doing here is we're getting the surface planes in. All right, now this roof line could be right here, the bottom of it. That could be my horizon line. You know, it's a little tricky. Usually I would kind of nail it, but sometimes you don't want to be so perfect with the drawing. Because so what are we doing here? When I was doing the research for teaching the perspective class, you know, I went on Pinterest and all that, and there's some really beautiful drawings, but the ones that looked like homework assignments, everything was perfectly straight. You know, you get that typical perspective exercise that you do in school, and you do the cityscape, and everything lines up exactly to the point. And when you do that, the drawing just looks so cold. And the reason why I chose this old house here is because there's really nothing cold about it. It's really cool. Everything is slightly crooked. Now, I wouldn't want to own this house where everything is slightly crooked, but it makes for a really pretty drawing. So I'm not going to worry so much that if I'm not perfect with my horizon line, but I am going to say I'm going to lower the horizon line, and I'm going to say that my horizon line is going to be here. Is that really necessary that I lower it like that? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, so now let's come on up to this roof line over here, and I'm measuring just like I do in portrait drawing and figure drawing. So if this is going to be my horizon line, okay, Yes, so then this is higher than it needs to come down. Now let's get this. Yeah, it's right about here, here. It tilts. There's a couple different angles to this roof, and so I'm not going to be perfect with it. All right, no straight lines, although straight lines are okay on a structure, not on the figure. And let's kick that out. So now this should be tilted down. That should go up there. Okay, and now let's kind of come up over here. So I'm just trying to, so this paper is on my computer screen. So I kind of have it's a heated drawing pad, but it's just two sheets of paper. So the heat from my Cintiq screen is actually buckling the paper a little bit. It's strange. See that? How it's like buckling it? So I hate when that happens. So now I learned my lesson. This paper is acting very, very different than my other Strathmore paper. This is Strathmore toned gray paper, which is a really good paper. And for this today, I thought it would be cool to use it because I'm going to do a little bit of the white charcoal. Now, let me look at some of these questions. It says here, that horizon line looks even lower to me. So how do you find the horizon line? Everyone's going to have a different opinion. So I'm looking at the photo, and this part of the roof looks level, okay? This roof looks as though it's tilted up ever so slightly. This is tilted over here on the side, that line on the building. So the horizon line can't be there, because if it's there, that line needs to be level. So it's tilted up. So that tells me the horizon line is higher. So now when I look at this little line on the side of the structure, that's almost level. You see it? So it's tilted up ever so slightly. So that tells me that this would tilt up ever so slightly. So this is where I'm guessing the horizon line is. Now, people on YouTube, you can have a different opinion, and that's okay. I'm not worried about making it perfect here. Hey, sir, my man. It's just, I'm giving you a very generic kind of, I shouldn't say that. This is not generic. I'm giving you just a quick 1 hour perspective tutorial here today on YouTube. So I'm not going to make it really dead on perfect. And we just want it believable. See, that's the thing. Hey, Michelle, good morning. And Troy, good morning. So yeah, the points are way, way to the right. So now this is higher. So that roof, look at how wavy it is. But I'm just going to do a line. It's going to come down. That's going to come up. That's going to come up. That's going to come up there. And that's really going to angle up. So that's our structure. Could it be taller? Yeah, I think it could be taller. But let's just kind of leave it like that. So we'll put in that little... Okay, so that is there. Chimney that needs to tilt down that side. Now we're getting small, and I need like a little bit of a sharper pencil, and let's get this pointy thing. So I'm just being a little bit more organic with it. I'm not being perfect. I saw so many beautiful. I never really go on Pinterest that much. I have a Pinterest account. But God, there were some gorgeous perspective drawings. Not even funny. So now let's get the corner of this. And let's do some work on the interior here. So we have this entranceway, and I'm going to make it skinnier because technically I should have made this wider, but I don't care. I'm not worried about perfection. I'm going to do my own version a little bit here of this building because I don't want to bore you all to death with me. We could tilt this. Let's make it a little wider. I don't want to bore you to death with me trying to get these measurements like perfect here today. Okay, so now let's come on down. Now, at risk of smudging, so now look, this is tilted. It's going up to the horizon line that way. This should be tilted more. This should be tilted even more. So now this little kind of, we're going to call it a little mini bridge, is going to be tilted that way. And we have the arch of that bridge coming in right about here. Okay, and now we're just going to cruise down, and now we have that tilt. So we've just, and that's very much off the camera. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this ever so slightly to the left, my whole piece of paper. Okay, so let's do that right now. Let me slide this over at risk of screwing everything up. Okay, that's a little bit better. Good, good. And let me lower it a touch. Cool. Now, let's do that bridge a little bit more user-friendly here. So that bridge, again, it's an organic, old, settled building. Let's bring that up. Now, the interior of that archway curves up. Good. And now we have the bridge part, tilts up to the point, and tilts up. Good. Okay, so let me get an eraser because I want to just erase out one line. I have Instagram, so if you want to see my Instagram account, and you'll see absolutely no perspective drawings on there, just check out where it says show more in the right below the video. And I've got some of my Instagram is there, and you can check it out. All right, so let's tilt down. Let's tilt down. Now, that's the basic structure here. Okay, I know you paint in oil. Have you ever tried watercolor? What do you think of it? So I used to use watercolor when I was in high school. And believe it or not, I have the watercolor paintings that I did in high school hanging up in my parents' house. Who else's house would they be hanging up in but my parents? Yeah, I used to like it. And watercolor is a great medium, and there's a great guy that does cityscapes. I forgot his name, with watercolors, and they're really, really amazing. Right now I don't really have any use for watercolor, but it's a very fun medium. Thank you, Sorabai. Mary, welcome. Now we have our overall structure, and now we need to give it, what's the next step? So if you've been following me here on YouTube, I'm always talking about shapes of tone, shapes of value. Okay, so now let's just add a couple more little nuances here. So we have this little outcropping. So that comes here. That line, oh, that line worked for me. That's going to come down. So we have a little wood there. And it's a little confusing over here, quite frankly. So it tilts up. And then we have this little side of the building right there. Good. And now we have this. All right, so now this edge of that arch. Let's put in a little window just for fun. Excuse me. And let's put in a little window underneath it. Keep it symmetrical. And now we have this wood beam that goes right up there. Okay, so my measurements are a little bit off here. I'm going to move this over to the edge of that. Yep, let's do it. All right, now let's get that eraser. Let's use the kneaded eraser this time, and let's just erase this out. Cool. All right, now, okay. So sometimes with this type of stuff, you just got to kind of keep track with what you're doing. I like that better. I'm not copying exactly what I see. Why am I not doing that? I'm not doing that because of time. I don't want to bore you and try to get all the measurements perfect. So now, oh God, we have that wheel. Oh God, and that's going to take me forever to draw, and I'm going to be a little bit more organic with it. Let's get the wheel, not spoke, but why am I at a loss of words here for that? Hub. Just freehand it, and we have those stones right underneath it. So I'm going to leave it like that. Now, any other windows that I've missed? So we have a little window over here, and we have a little window over here. Okay, cool. There's a shutter there as well. There's a little wood beam. Wood beam. Okay. Now, the ornateness is going to come in all of these structures. And how much of that ornateness we put in, it depends. Now, what would be fun, just for fun, let's do a axle. Thank you very much, Nancy. My mind's going all over the place. I'm going to do like a little foliage over here that comes down. So now let's start to put in a little bit of tone. Okay, so a little bit of tone, hard edge, little bit of tone over here. Feather that away. Just so, see how that makes the building pop out just with that little tone. Appreciate that, Shine Girl. Now, the next step would be, in Photoshop, on the photo, I made this side, I just painted over it with a big translucent brush. I made this side of the structure darker, a little bit darker over here, a little bit darker over here. And you can see on the sky over here, I lightened it, okay? And yeah, hold on one second. God, I am so sorry. Hey, Matthew, welcome. Yeah, it's definitely some kind of model, I think this thing is, no doubt about it. It's not real. It's some kind of model. So the light is going to come from the sky over here, which means this surface plane, this surface plane, this surface plane is all going to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to start over here at the left, and I'm just going to shade. I'm not going to go too crazy with it. I'm just going to put a little bit of tone here. Now, I can see already this drawing would take me all day. And it's small. So what's our size today? Our size is, the building is exactly 6 inches tall, okay? By, the drawing's about 5 inches wide. So it's tiny, it's small, but it still would take me all day. So we're 27 minutes in. So I have a good half an hour here to really kind of make this work a little bit more. So we're gonna put some tone in. So all of these surface planes, so our light source is here. That's what we're deciding, okay? And now let's go darker here. Let's go darker that side of the chimney, that side of that turret. And let's go darker in the little alleyway. And let's go darker on this surface plane. I should lower the volume here. Yep, okay, cool. So and then we're just gonna feather it away. So what do we have? We have, let me get my grayscale. We have basically light values. So we're working here and here, okay? So we have no dark at all. We need some dark. Yeah, the size of the drawing. So I need to fit this into a little monitor that you see here on YouTube. I need to finish this in an hour. So working big is just, it's not going to happen. People who work big, I don't know how they do it and make it happen really, really quickly. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to start injecting into the drawing some darks. And, you know, I could just do it with line, or I could make the decision that I'm going to do it with tone. So we can come on in over here and say, all right, let's kick out this roof line. I'm going to just go a little bit darker with that edge. This is maybe going to look like that. And that, I'm going to adjust that now. So I'm going to go a little bit darker there. Let's just add the tone. Okay, so that makes that pop just a little bit. Okay, and now we're going to just add some ornateness to the edge. So now it's just going to be about continuous line. So I'm just going to draw for the sake of drawing here, and our roof line, just trying to get some character into it. I'm going to omit that chimney. I'm going to simplify it. And let's just come on down now with this. So this is where you want a semi-sharp pencil. Okay, I'm going to go darker here. Cool. And now we could sag this roof line, and just for fun, just droop it, because that's what those old, that's what was, excuse me, happening at Stony Brook yesterday at Mirabelle Restaurant. It was, the roof beams were sagging. They were like so old. And so we can do that here, and it just gives that perspective drawing a little bit of character. So that really should be the title of this video here today on YouTube, how to give your perspective drawings character. Okay, and how you do it is you do not draw a perfect line to a perfect point. Perfect line, perfect point, perfect line, perfect point, perfect line. That's how you make your drawings look fake. Now that is correct perspective for a 3-point perspective demonstration. But in terms of character, so we're talking about the word character. Character is different than a perfect perspective drawing. So things are crooked. So when we bought this house, we bought it because of this huge room that I'm in. It's called a bonus room, and we knew that the bonus room was going to be my studio. Well, the room was empty. It was kind of like an attic space when we bought the house, so we finished it. And after we finished it, the day after, the floor, everything was done. It took a couple months to do. I came in and I set my easel up right where I wanted it to be on the north side, because that's what the type of lighting artists should use, north light, because it's consistent all day. And the floor was tilted. It was tilted quite a bit because this is over a 2-car garage. And so there's these beams, and even if it's like a quarter of an inch, in the middle it dips like maybe 3/8 of an inch. That's a lot, believe it or not. And so that's what I have to tell myself. It's character, okay? So it took me about 5 years to get over that character. And now when I walk on the floor, I don't even notice that it's a little bit crooked. And it was in 2009, a brand new house. So it was a little irritating that a brand new house had a crooked floor. But it's just what I remind myself every day about is that humans are flawed and we all make mistakes. And so somebody building a house is a human and they could make a mistake. And so that's maybe why the floor was tilted. So I'm human and I'll make a mistake with this drawing. And so we're all human and we all make mistakes. And that's just how it goes. So now I'm going to just keep going here. I could add these little windows. This is kind of fun. So this is what? Character. Little bit. So we're just freehanding this, and we're kind of keeping in mind the vanishing point, horizon line area. That could have tilted a little bit more, but we're just going to kind of go for it. Put a little bit of dark window over there. That should be level. So technically that should come down. I'm going to lift it up a little bit. Okay, so they should be a little bit more level. Let me resharpen this pencil, as a matter of fact. I'm going to get a new, bigger pencil here. What work can I get if I study fine arts? Oh boy, that's a loaded question. That could be the entire live stream. There's different categories. Just think of this. Cartoonist, illustrator, animator, fine artist. Let's just talk about those 4 right now for a second. And then you take subdivisions in those categories. So fine artist, you can do landscape painting, you can do portrait painting, you can do abstract painting, you can do anything if you're a fine artist. You can do portraits of dogs, you can do paintings of old exotic cars. You have to do what you like, okay? And so fine artists, it could be anything. You can look at my Instagram and you can say, well, that's fine art. It's just drawings of the figure. But then even like for animation, you start to look for subcategories. And so you can be a keyframer, you can be a storyboard artist, you can be a character designer, you can do backgrounds, and you can do art direction. You can do, the list goes on and on. And so you have to first pick the subject, or not subject, the category, and then there's subdivisions in the category. I have been doing art since I was 3 years old, Tim. But to answer your question in a more serious way, I guess I started out as an illustrator in 1990. Okay, I started teaching in 1997, so I've kind of been doing this for an extremely long time. Hey, Kenny, Paris D. Black. Oh, you did? You got the Mooka book. Uh, I'm going to go get my Muka book. 1 second. Just give me just a break from sitting in this chair. I'll be right back. I've got two awesome books I've got to share with you. 1 second. All right, so let's see if I can do this. These two books, look at how thick they are, and they're loaded with photos, are treasures. So this is one Alphonse Maria Muka book by Yuri Muka, and this one is another treasure. This is The Spirit of Art Nouveau. Okay, and if we can just, God, these books are heavy. I'm out of shape. Just glance at, let me see if I can't glance at, bear with me. I'm looking for some of his drawings. Oh, God, what a treasure. Okay, look at this thing. I shouldn't be putting this up next to my drawing. I'm going to look like I'm in kindergarten here. It's just the quality in this book of reproduction is incredible. Look at the white charcoal. Okay, love it. And let me just find one more. I'm looking for a structure because I know he draws a little bit of everything. I'm not finding it in here. But yeah, my God, he's just, I got to stop doing this because I'm going to bore you all to death. I'm looking at the book. I'm just so, yeah, he's just great. He does everything. He does everything. But those two books, like, look at the line on the cover. It's just so good. Let me put this aside. I treat these books with tender love and care. Well, I have it over here. I'll show you guys. This is the paper I'm using here today. Really generic, 400 series, Strathmore, toned gray. I could also hold it up this way for you. 80 pounds. Let's put that down. All right, let's get back to this drawing. I'm going to get another little swig of coffee here as I... Yeah, okay. You're making me feel old, Shine Girl, but that's okay. I am old. I've got a birthday coming up in February. Last night was our friend's 50th. Yeah, art book club. God. Still a young man. All right, I'll take that. Thank you, Sorobai. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right, let's get back to this little sketch that we're doing here. Now, let's add a little bit more value. Let's do the roof line. Okay, so again, I'm omitting things, and I'm just going to kind of cruise on down. See what I'm doing here? I'm not lifting my pencil off of the paper, and I'm just doing the roof shingles. Now, I have to keep in mind the perspective. So I don't want to screw up the perspective. This is a continuous line. It's very stylized. All right, and I'm trying to go, so this is speed drawing without the speed drawing. I'm trying to go very, very fast. And then we can do some lines that come down like that. See what that does? It just adds character. Now this Col-Erase pencil is really soft and dark. I know the dig against the Col-Erase is that they're hard as a rock, and it's hard to go really dark with them. So remember, we're not going for perfection. I appreciate that, Ricardo. I love that name. I can't say it. Nunez. Did I say it right? Artistic girl. Nice. Appreciate that, Luca. I don't know about that, but I'll take it today. I don't feel like a rock star today. I feel like a very old man who went out to eat last night and had too much to drink, too much to eat, and woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and said, oh my God, I got to do a live stream and I have a stomach ache. And how am I going to do this? So that's how I really feel today, no doubt. All right, so let's just do this roofing shingle stuff, and let's come on down and just have fun with it. The roof is totally crooked. This is, again, the title of the live stream should have been how to do 3-point perspective drawings with character. And so the character comes in where things are not going to be perfectly straight. Perfectly straight is boring, and it looks like a perspective drawing exercise that you would do in grade school, where you're trying to learn perspective and you line everything up and it looks too perfect. Now, this is that kind of Tudor style building that I just absolutely love. So we can put in some of these lines, but we have to do them. So our horizon line, I decided is here, whether that's right or wrong. That's where I decided to put it here today. So that means this needs to tilt down, tilt down. That's a little bit of a tangent there. Okay. And where are we now? Appreciate that. Dry crackers and tea, great for upsets. Yeah. Uh, Costa Rica. Wow, I'd like to be there today. All right, let's keep going here. So we have this little wood beam that comes down. So I got to be careful. Let me resharpen. This pencil's really soft, which is strange. They're usually soft when they're brand new. This is not brand new. I've had it for a while. I haven't been to the art supply store in a very long time. So we have these beautiful Tudor wood beams. Wood, different texture now. Wood beam. Okay, where are we bringing that into? This is a little confusing. I need to simplify this wall, this surface plane. And that's going to be this way. So again, this would take me forever to do here today. But let's just keep pushing. Okay, a little bit more of this beam going up into perspective to the horizon line. Let's put in a really cool, funky tree. Just do a little speed drawing here. That doesn't look like a tree. It looks like fire. Okay, so let's give it a little bit of a trunk. I can't believe I just did that. All right, so let's push, 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 faster, faster, faster. So it's kind of like an exercise in class. And yeah, so in class we have that timer, the 20-minute session. Now, look, over here, as I just kind of peruse around this drawing, I'm going to make this a little bit darker, bring it down. We can do really cool stuff. I'm going to omit the mill wheel. I'm just going to get rid of that because there's just not enough time. And instead, because I don't want that to look gross. That needs time. I'm not trying to weasel out of it. I'm just trying to finish a drawing here for you in a certain period of time. So we'll put that doorway here. And does that doorway compared to that arch? So window. So this is where size relationships really come into play. Okay, so this is the window. So I drew the door, and the door is further away, but we want it a little bit taller so it looks in proportion to. So a human being. Okay, so our door. So you see what I did here? I have 1, 2, 3. Those are called targets, and I need to make sure that goes with perspective. Up, up. And so I'm trying to figure out the height of that door. It's the same thing when you're drawing the figure. Okay, so where is the figure's foot, or where is the top of their head? And you figure that out with targets. So now I'm just going to put in that doorway. It's a little heavy. And let's add some cracks. Let me resharpen the pencil. I can't wait to kind of get in this with white charcoal. So let's just do some cracks here. Let's do some stone around. So again, this would take me forever, everybody, to make this happen and make it look good. Okay, wood beam. And let's get this arch. Push a little bit more. Now, with the ground, what I was saying with the ground. So I'm not going to copy what I see over there. We're just going to put in like a little bit of a path. So that path should go with perspective. Okay, so let's just make that path. Let's put like a little rock next to the door, maybe some rocks over here, and we can have this path going here. Maybe that's like a little mini driveway. So again, that has to go up now to the vanishing point. And let's come back over here and get this archway. Okay, I'm going to smudge this a lot, so I'm going to put some stone, very organic stone around that archway. And let's show the bottom of that archway right here. Here. Go up in perspective. Okay. Let me look at some comments. Michelle. Okay, cool. How many pencils? If I took my camera and showed you the pencils, let's just say I have hundreds of pencils, and I have all different types of pencils, but I really only use this. Yeah, we can turn that into a river, no doubt, but we're going to turn it into more of like a driveway, like a stone sort of driveway thing. Um, it's whatever your heart desires, whatever you want to do here. I'm just kind of going with the flow. So remember, this beam's going up to the horizon line. So this stone here needs to kind of tilt up. So when you start to put these details in, make sure you take a step back and you have the integrity. So now the integrity of the perspective. So you see how this is higher, this is level, those two lines there. So I need to bring this down because I need to follow with the perspective up. Okay, let's just have fun here. I'm just making this up. I'm not copying. I'm just having fun. And let's do the top here. Okay, so let's do this. That has to go up to the vanishing point. Okay, let's just scribble. Scribble, scribble. There should be a cast shadow here because the light's here. Okay. And I'm going as fast as I can. Let's see. All right, cool. Just scribbling texture. Let's do a little cast shadow. And let's do this archway. We're going to make the archway smaller. Now, I could talk about perspective with the archway, but you got to pick and choose your battles with time. Okay, so let's just erase that out. So that looks a little bit better. And now we can come on in with the top. That has to go up to the vanishing point. And now what we're going to do is work in this very skinny little area. So let's go just darker. I'm going to erase out the top plane. Let's erase that out right now. So we should have, technically, a top plane here. Okay, and now let's just kind of, sorry for my head being cropped. Okay, and now that top plane. So just working very skinny with an extremely soft pencil. Okay, don't like that dark, but we're going to leave it. Now, I'm going to switch pencils. Okay, let me resharpen this one. I'm going to just take a quick swig of water. Pillow the Great. That's a very cool username. Okay, so I appreciate the nice words. Let's just add like a crack. Let's come on down with this line. Now, this line technically flattens the drawing out, okay? But we're going to put it in there anyway. Who cares? I like line. So let's just have a little bit here. Let's add more texture on the roof. Go in perspective. Let's go darker here. Now, if I'm going darker here, I got to be careful because I don't want to lead your eye. I could go darker in the foreground. Where do I want the viewer to look? That's a whole nother subject for another live stream, which we've done. Where do you want the viewer to look first? Let's just add some little grass texture down over here. So pencil stroke direction determines texture. Darker here, and I'm going to go in with some stones with perspective. Okay, let's come on down. Appreciate the kind words. And yeah, so God, I would love to have all day to work on this. It would be so much fun. So this is very dark, and I'm leading you very far away. Let's tilt up. What else can I do here? I hate that this is all smudged, but it is what it is. Now, if I wanted to do clouds in the sky, somebody asked me last week about clouds. So the 3 points that I mean are here, okay? So this is 3-point perspective. So we have our box, and it tilts down. Oh, somebody just rang the doorbell. Truffs. Let me get Truffs, and then she's going to be barking. Oh, this is going to be crazy. Somebody came over. 1 second. Let me just grab Truffs. Come here, Truffs. Come here. Yeah, just in case I've got to stop this live stream early. So this is Truffs, and she's just hanging out today. She looks pretty good. Her eyes are nice and clear today. How you doing, everybody? Yeah, how's everybody doing? Speaking to the microphone, Truffs. No, you've had enough. All right. Let's see. Bear with me. Okay, so Truffs is going to be barking soon. Let's just go a little bit more here, and let's put this in. All right, a little bit more over here. Now, I might have to cut the live stream short today, but I might come back in a little while later on YouTube. I'll send out an email if I do that. Okay, let's just for fun add a little bit of the white charcoal. Okay, so now if we wanted to, we could, well, I was talking about clouds. I'm kind of all over here today. So the clouds behind could go in perspective, and they can go to the vanishing point. And that is a whole nother really, really cool element. So let's just kind of do that. And this is our horizon line. We can put in like some kind of rolling mountains over there, and we can give that a value just to establish the land. So that's going to go back. So that's our horizon line. And I originally thought this was going to be sky, but let's just kind of change it right now. And then we can come on in here and we can just start to have some fun. So we can do a little bit of stone work here and there, just on this surface plane. Okay, just here and here, top plane. So my light source would be, let me get this on the video. My light source would be maybe here. Now, if it's there, this is going to be in shadow. Okay, so our light source needs to be well to the right. Okay, so it needs to be off. And so I'm just going to have fun with this. Let's get rid of this. Clean that up. Okay, just a little bit of light on this side. Just trying to mimic the texture as best as I can in a short period of time. A little bit of light over here. Definitely need more time for this, everybody. Okay, just we can come on down with some lines a la Muka. Don't have to be pure white, just some white. Okay, and that just adds a whole nother element to it. And our sky over here. Yeah, see you on Tuesday, Kat. So I'll work on this for a couple more minutes. Thanks for joining, Kat. Yeah, it would be fun. Okay, and maybe a little bit of light over here. So the thing with charcoal, don't use it on the shadow side, the white charcoal. Don't use it on the shadow side. Just use it in the light. And let's just push a little bit more. So a little bit more of a darker roof line over here. Okay, a little darker over here. And I'll just look at some of these comments. I appreciate that. So, again, I was the inspiration for this, as we come to a close here pretty soon, a couple more minutes. The inspiration for this tutorial today here on YouTube, this live stream, was I was been writing for 2 days in a row the course outline for my perspective course that I'm going to be teaching at the School of Visual Arts, and it runs for 15 weeks. And it's like, oh God, I really need to plan this out. You can't fake a 15-week course, or else you're gonna put everyone to sleep. So it needs to be interesting. And no doubt, there's so many different things we're going to be drawing in perspective. 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 point, machines in perspective, landscapes in perspective, insects in perspective, kind of combining machines with animals, prop design. Yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to it. It's going to be so much fun. Okay, so that is coming close to being done here. Let's just go a little darker in this corner. I hate that this is smudged. Okay, some other edges need to be a little sharper. Roof line could be a little bit more resolved over here. I don't like that this is very unfinished, so I'm going to omit some stuff here for the sake of just trying to finish it. And I'm going to put this little turret So that needs to tilt down. Go with perspective, tilt down that way. Let's get the point part. Don't love this, but let's just do it anyways. And texture. I could have probably done without those two little windows over there trying to do this drawing in this short period of time. Okay, darker on this side, darker over here, darker. I know there's some comments coming through. Oh, yeah, that would be really good if you can make it. So just every Tuesday, I have a figure drawing class via Zoom for members of drawingtutorialsonline.com. It's a live class with a live model, and we had a really good time last Tuesday. The model was great. He had some really interesting poses. The class went for about an hour with the model, with drawing and instruction, and then we had almost like an hour Q&A. That went for a very long time, and it was fun. It was fun. And so I appreciate everybody joining me with that. So this looks a little too soft and fuzzy for me. I hate that. It needs to be resolved, and I don't like the way that looks, but I just have to deal. Okay, let's make this molding here a little bit thicker. So there's a lot that I don't like with this, but it's fine for a demo drawing. And let's attach this to the ground, and let's go darker over here even still. Appreciate that, Kat. Okay, so let's come on down over here. Let's just kind of add some dark. This is going to be the frame for the structure. So I'm being a lunatic right now. I'm pressing down hard, pressing down hard, pressing down hard. Sometimes you need that third value. If I'm going to do the third, and maybe we're just going to have our land coming on down. If you're going to do that, you need to feather it away. Feather it away. Feather it away. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. So if you like this video, please click on the like button, the thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more tutorials like this every Saturday morning at 10, and every Saturday morning when I wake up, I say, oh my God, how am I going to do the live stream today? And that's what I said this morning at 4 o'clock in the morning when I was laying in bed with a stomach hangover. And too much food, too much food, too much food. So yeah, subscribe to the channel, click on the little bell to get notified when I go live, but it's pretty consistent. If you want to get a free course, you can visit the link below, members.drawing-tutorials-online.com, and I have a free course. I will not spam you with sales emails. I don't do that. It doesn't work, but the course is all about how to draw the figure in white charcoal, how to do it, how not to do it, because when I was doing it, I did make a mistake. So I included that into the course, how not to do it. Sometimes how to do perspective or how not to draw the figure, how not to do perspective is just as important as how to. So for instance, here's our sheet of perspective. How not to draw a box in perspective is kind of like that. So it's never like this and this are never going to converge to a point. So if you draw a box and it looks like this, that's how not to draw perspective. It needs to converge, okay? It needs to taper in together. And so that's what not to do with perspective. Now, I wouldn't mind just going a value darker with this. Now, God, if I had all the time in the world, you know what would I be doing? I'd be using my brush, and I would most definitely be blending. Okay, so Truffs is going crazy. It's 11 o'clock. I think I might work on this drawing a little bit. If I decide to come back to YouTube, maybe I'll shoot out an email. So I'm not using charcoal. The materials are in the description below and show more. I'm just using, well, I am using charcoal, but white charcoal. So this is my Col-Erase pencil. Okay, I should have stock in Prismacolor. I've sold so many of these pencils for that company. And this is charcoal white, a really cheesy generic pencil, Generals, but I love them. You can find this at any art supply store. So these are the two materials I used on toned gray paper, Strathmore toned gray, 80 pounds, with these two erasers. So mono zero eraser, mono zero eraser, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, I am going to work on this a little bit off camera. So thank you all so much for joining me here today. It was a lot of fun. We went roughly an hour. That was really fun to do. So John, thank you so much. You just got here. I apologize. The reason why you use the Col-Erase, it's just, you know, I'll give you an analogy here. So I have a bad neck, and I go to the doctor, and I say, well, what pillow is good for my neck? And he says to me, and this is a true story, and he says to me, well, the one that doesn't make your neck hurt. So the reason why I use the Col-Erase pencil is because I draw better with it. I draw better with the Col-Erase pencil than I do with graphite. So that's the reason why I draw with it. I get better results with this pencil than I do with graphite. All right. So Sorbet, thank you so much for joining. Ileana, appreciate you joining us here today. Dennis, I appreciate you. Magdalena, I got to say your name today. Thank you so much for joining. Wow. Okay, there's some names I can't pronounce, so I won't. Saima. And it's okay, dude. I thought that was a Russian name when I first saw it. Ace, thank you for joining. Dimitri Trivial, hope I said that right. Yep. I started using those pencils like 10 years ago. I appreciate that. I can't zero Genesis. Timothy, appreciate you joining, visiting on the live stream. Timothy, welcome to the live stream. I think this is maybe your first time. John, appreciate you coming, John. I know we're at the end here. Aura, I appreciate you joining. Husky Animations, love that. Sandy, I appreciate you joining me today here on the live stream. And Martina, come here, Truffs. Truffs is going crazy. Somebody's here and she's trying to get out the door. Come here, Truffs. Truffs, come here. Come on. Come here. Come here. Ollie, well, thank you for joining. Aurora, I appreciate you coming today. And Nancy, I appreciate. Megana, Kat, thank you. Stacy Micheletto. That Stacy, your name rolls off the tongue. That should be like the name of like a drink. Stacy Micheletto. Get yours today. Lucas, appreciate you joining me. Moises. Moises, this is a live stream on YouTube, so I do this every Saturday. The Zoom class is on Tuesday. That's only for members of drawingtutorialsonline.com. The video critiques get filmed on Monday. So I've got a really busy time at it right now. Paul, I really appreciate you. Mixed media art and chilling with Matt. Yeah, I appreciate that, Paula. Alasta Parker, I appreciate you joining us. Come on, Druff, show your face. Be a good girl. Don't be rude. All right, everyone. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. I'll post this. I'll work on the drawing a little bit. Maybe I'll post it on YouTube as the little blog post on YouTube. That'd be fun. All right. Take care, everyone.